My name is Josh. I am 35 years old. I've lived through many ups and downs, but nothing has left me more broken than my marriage. Looking back, I wonder how I ended up here. This version of me, tired, lonely, and full of regrets. If I could go back in time, I would do many things differently. But life doesn't give second chances. It only teaches harsh lessons. I met Amanda 7 years ago at a friend's birthday party. She was hard to miss. Confident, smart, funny, and breathtakingly beautiful. When she laughed, heads turned. When she walked into a room, people noticed. And when she looked at me that night, I felt like the luckiest man alive. We started talking, and within minutes I was drawn in. She was different, or so I thought. We talked about life, dreams, and the future. She said she wanted a peaceful life, someone who would love her deeply, someone simple and honest. That was me. I gave her my whole heart without holding back. 6 months later, we were engaged. Everyone said we were rushing things, but I didn't care. Love doesn't follow rules, right? We had a beautiful wedding. My parents cried tears of joy. I thought it was the start of a beautiful forever, but I was wrong. The changes began just weeks after the wedding. At first, it was small things, her tone, her attitude, how she looked at me like I wasn't enough. She started criticizing the way I dressed, the way I spoke, even the way I laughed. "You're too basic," she once said, laughing. I laughed too, pretending it didn't sting. Amanda became obsessed with appearances. Everything was about looking good on the outside, Instagram pictures, fancy dinners, expensive clothes. Meanwhile, I was drowning inside. I couldn't keep up with her lifestyle. My job paid well, but not enough to satisfy her hunger for luxury. She wanted more, always more. She started comparing me to her friends' husbands. Sandra's husband just got promoted again. TD's man surprises her with gifts every weekend. She never saw how hard I was trying. I worked overtime, took side gigs, and still it was never enough. I wasn't a husband to her. I was a project to fix or a tool to use. Our home stopped feeling like home. It became a cold, silent space where two strangers lived. We stopped talking. We stopped laughing. The only time she touched me was for pictures. She smiled in public, but behind closed doors, she hardly looked at me. I thought maybe having children would bring us closer. I've always wanted a family. Children running around, laughter in the house, a little girl who looks like her mom, a little boy I could play football with. But Amanda said no. Not now. Not ever. Children will ruin everything, she said. I didn't marry you to become someone's mother. That was the day something inside me broke. I cried in the bathroom that night, biting down on a towel so she wouldn't hear. I never felt more alone than I did lying next to my wife, feeling like I didn't exist. My family noticed the change in me. My mom would call and ask, "Josh, are you okay?" I always said I was fine. I didn't want to worry her. I didn't want her to know that her son, the strong, happy man she raised, was now just a shadow of himself. I stopped visiting home. Amanda didn't like my family. She said they were too backward. She refused to greet them properly, never joined me for family events, and once said, I didn't sign up for a village lifestyle. I was torn between the woman I loved and the people who raised me. My friends stopped coming around too. Amanda didn't like my ordinary friends. According to her, they had nothing to offer. She wanted me to network with rich people, go to exclusive parties, and level up. I started cutting off my friends just to keep peace at home. But peace never came. Instead, I was alone, truly alone. I started staying longer at work just to avoid going home. I would sit in my car for hours, staring at the steering wheel, asking myself, how did I get here? But I never had the answer. I wanted to leave, many times, but I stayed. I stayed because of what people would say. I stayed because of the shame. I stayed because divorce felt like failure, and I was afraid of failing. Now, 6 years into the marriage, I feel like a prisoner in my own life. I walk around smiling, but inside, I'm dying slowly. I've lost myself, my dreams, my peace. My joy. Amanda still posts us online like we're the perfect couple. People comment, goals, and I want what you two have. If only they knew. If only they could see the truth behind the filters and fake smiles. The truth is, I regret marrying her. I regret ignoring the red flags. I regret thinking I could change her. I regret believing that love was enough. But it's too late now. Too late to start over. Too late to rebuild what's already in ruins. Too late to recover the time, the love, the man I used to be. And the saddest part is, I'm still here. Waking up every day, beside a woman I no longer recognize. Last month, something happened that shook me to my core. I came home early from work, unplanned. I just couldn't take another long day of pretending I was okay. I walked through the front door, hoping maybe Amanda and I could talk for once. Like we used to. Maybe have dinner together. Maybe laugh. Maybe something, anything, to remind me why I married her. But when I got in, the house was quiet. Too quiet. I called out her name. No answer. I walked into the living room, and there she was, on a video call, laughing, looking relaxed in a way she never looked around me anymore. Her voice was soft, flirtatious. She didn't see me at first. But the moment she did, the smile vanished. She quickly ended the call and gave me a cold stare, like I had interrupted something I wasn't supposed to see. I didn't ask questions. I didn't need to. My heart already knew. That night, we slept in silence again. But this time, something inside me shut down completely. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I just stared at the ceiling and asked myself a painful question. How did I become the man who allows himself to be disrespected like this? The next morning, I left the house without saying a word. I went to work, sat in my car, and broke down. Not because she might be seeing someone else, but because I no longer cared. And that scared me. There was a time I would have fought for her. A time I would have begged, cried, or tried to win her back. But that time was gone. Now I was numb. I tried talking to a friend, one of the few I still had. He said, "Josh, you deserve better. Leave. Start again." But how do you start again when your soul is tired? When every day feels like you're carrying the weight of 10 years on your back? When you've poured everything into someone, only to be left empty? Amanda is still the same. She walks around the house like I'm invisible. She spends hours on her phone, takes weekend trips alone, and posts motivational quotes about peace and freedom, like she's the victim in our story. And me? I go to work. I come home. I eat alone. I sleep alone, though she's just inches away. I scroll through old pictures of when we first met, wondering how something that felt so right turned out to be so wrong. I think about divorce every day. But then I think about how people will talk, how my parents will react, how I will rebuild a life from scratch at 35. It's not the fear of being alone that keeps me here. It's the fear of being judged, misunderstood, and broken again. But deep down, I know this isn't life. This is survival. This is what it looks like when you ignore the red flags, when you confuse beauty with character, when you choose someone who only loves your potential, not your reality. One day soon, I will have to make a decision. Because if I stay, I will lose the last pieces of myself. And if I leave, maybe, just maybe, I'll find peace again. For now, I wake up, I smile, I carry on. But every time I look at her, I remember the truth. I regret marrying her. And while it may be too late to fix the past, it might not be too late to save myself.